Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Donald Trump said this, but a lot of people don't believe him.
African American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago.
When I heard Donald Trump say this, I was wondering if it was true or not. And many people said, that's not true. That's not true. Who would have asked him to come to Chicago? Well, I found this article in the Independent. It says, Black influencer says she's behind Trump's claim that beautiful African American ladies are begging for troops in Chicago. And here she is. Danielle Carter Walters says she believes Trump was talking about her and her political action group when he said Friday that African American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. So this woman is taking credit for her organization being the group that begged Trump to come to Chicago with the National Guard, I guess. President Donald Trump has claimed that African American ladies, beautiful ladies, are pleading with him to extend federal troop deployments to Chicago after the militarized takeover of Washington, D.C.'s streets this month. They're wearing red hats just like this one. African American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago, please, he claimed Friday in the Oval Office. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we will help with New York. Hmm. We knew he had been listening to us, Danielle Carter Walters told the Chicago Sun-Times Sunday. When I saw it, I said, oh, wow, we've been asking for it in our videos. Now he's doing it. See? He was summoned, and I wouldn't doubt that black people in other cities have been asking him to come. Well, I think that a lot of us were tempted to think that Donald Trump was lying when he said that black women were begging him to come to Chicago with the National Guard. But I've been around the block a couple of times, and a lot of times you'll be thinking that everybody's on the same page and everybody is thinking alike, and that might not be the case because there are times when black people, even on a job, sometimes you'll be working with black people and you'll be thinking everybody's on the same page and is going to support the same issues, and then there'll be black people who sneak around behind your back and do something or say something to undermine what the group is saying. And sometimes you'll be thinking, well, how do white folks know that? Or white folks are making up this stuff, and they won't be making it up. A black person would have told them that. That's what's happening with the Republican Party with those black conservatives, so called. Tim Scott and that crowd. They'll be telling those Republicans and Donald Trump, they'll be telling white folks about stuff that black people are doing, and then white people will come back and repeat it, and you'll be thinking, well, that's a stereotype. He made it up. No, he didn't. Some black people told him that. So I didn't doubt that some black people had told Donald Trump that. And then there is another way to look at it. If you live in a city where your children are afraid to go outside to the ice cream truck, or if you're in a place where the ice cream truck doesn't come anymore because of chaos in the community, you might be tempted to say, well, we need to do something about this community. We want our community back like it used to be when we grew up, because those communities weren't always in chaos like they are now. So I'm not surprised that some black people in Chicago asked Donald Trump for help in the form of law enforcement. And I'm not going to be surprised if black people in other cities asked for help because, enough is enough. And I am surprised that he has so many red states on the list, but he's going to cover everybody before it's over. And this might be the martial law that everybody's been afraid of, that everybody's been talking about. I'm going to acknowledge that I don't know all that's going on in this country. I don't know the number of illegal immigrants in this country. I don't know what the crime rings are in this country. So I just really don't know. But I do know that I don't want to be under martial law. I want our communities to be peaceful, but I don't like the idea of being under martial law. I will acknowledge that too. Now, y'all let me know how you feel about this, but I want to show you a video of the National Guard deployment because he's not just doing this in big cities. They got some of these red states on the list. Take a listen.
The administration will be sending National Guards to nearly 20 different states. Watch this video to see if yours is one of them. Let's get into it. As we all know, a couple weeks ago, the Trump administration announced that they were going to be federalizing DC with National Guards. They are now expanding that plan to 19 different states. In a press conference, the administration announced that they're going to be mobilizing nearly 1,700 individual National Guard troops to be deployed across the United States. Now, let's get into the list. Let me know if your state is mentioned here. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, and Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Louisiana, and Iowa, Nebraska, New Mexico, Nevada, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Virginia, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. All of these states are going to have a similar National Guard presence as the one that is currently being experienced in Washington, D.C. On top of that, this makes matters even worse because the administration has given the go-ahead to cities like DC to allow their National Guard troops to carry around weapons in public. Now, you're probably wondering why the administration is sending National Guard troops to nearly half the country. Let me explain. The Trump administration is utilizing the National Guard to be able to enforce their crime and immigration policies. But once again, this is an overstepping of the executive branch being facilitated at the national level. I also want to mention that the deploying of National Guards is not cheap and it's not free. Your taxpayer dollars, specifically the states that he's deploying the National Guards to, will go up significantly because you have to pay for the National Guard to reside and carry out their duties in your respective state. So like I said earlier, let me know in the comments if your state is one of the 20, near 20 that are mentioned. And I highly recommend if you reside in any of these states or in DC in particular, you give me a follow and check back for updates. I'll be keeping us updated. And I hope to see you guys next time on another short episode of Politics with NJ. Bye-bye.
I don't know where he's really going with this, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see how all of this turns out. But let me know what you think about the video. Have a good evening.